When we were kids in school, our teachers used to say that there is an R on our forehead. R meaning refugees.
When I was 8 years old, I crossed the border. So for 30 long years, I haven't met my parents and relatives.
I just want to think that this is my home, but I know that this is not my home.
We want to go there once in our lifetime. We are born in exile.
As the Tibetan spiritual leader Dalai Lama recently turned 90, thousands of Tibetans gathered in the quiet hill town of Dharamshala in the North Indian state of Himachal Pradesh. While they prayed for Dalai Lama's long life, it was also a moment for them to reflect on what lies ahead for this 70,000 strong community living in exile in India. Dalai Lama was just 23 years old when he had to flee Tibet after a failed Tibetan uprising against the Chinese rule. Over the decades, thousands of Tibetans followed in his footsteps.
And the feeling of, homelessness, I tend to feel a lot.
Tibetans living in exile rarely forget to thank India for offering them refuge, support, and a second chance. But they also lament the restrictions they face.
We don't have a citizenship here in India. We still live under the paper of refugee, which is RC certificate that we sign by the Indian government every 5 years to extend our stay in India. And whenever we travel outside, we don't have proper document and the citizenship as other people do. We have IC, which is given by the Indian government as an identity certificate. None of the other immigration centers consider this as a proper document to travel outside.
It makes us vulnerable because we cannot vote here, we cannot own properties, we cannot do anything here in this land.
We can work in Indian, like corporate jobs, we can do that, but there's also like one drawback to that because we don't have the Indian passport. There is a certain age limit the way you can apply for it, but for us, we cannot apply, right? And that kind of puts some limitations because some corporates, they don't accept people without Indian passports.
Tibetans born in India can apply for Indian passports if both or either of their parents were born in India between 1950 and 1987. But applying for an Indian passport comes along with a dilemma for most Tibetans.
That means you have to let go of the refugee certificate for which we were quite attached with, So if we let go of our refugee certificate, then it's like we are not Tibetan, we are like Indian citizens. So we are like still in confusion, should we get a citizenship which we will declare ourselves as Indian citizen, or should we still stay under the refugee which limit a lot of opportunities when it comes to travel outside?
Despite the challenges related to proper documentation, thousands of Tibetans living in India have migrated to the West in recent years.
I think
But some Tibetan youth have a different reason to migrate to the West.
When I was 8 years old, I crossed the border, and then I was enrolled into Tibetan school. So for 30 long years, I haven't met my parents and relatives. I have no one here. The sole reason that I want to go to Western countries is that I can become their citizen. Then I can apply for a visa and go into Tibet to visit my parents.
To be able to visit their homeland someday is what many young Tibetans wish for.
We want to go there once in our lifetime. I mean, there is a saying that, we are born in exile or born in India, but we want to die in Tibet.
I am still 100%, hopeful and thinking that one day, the Tibetans will get a chance to go back and then have their own land.
But then there are some who advise caution.
If there's a choice about the going back to Tibet, if we ask to the each and every Tibetans, obviously they will say that we want to go back to Tibet. But right now there's no freedom inside the Tibet. We don't want to be beaten by the Chinese inside the Tibet if we went there.